Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Rant. We are going to go over Monday Night Raw for May 6th, 2013. Just to let everyone know ahead of time, this show was not very good. So, if you were expecting a decent show, nope. Anyways, before the show even really started, what we got was, apparently earlier in the day, and this was reported on WWE.com and a couple of other places, Brock Lesnar and his handler, manager, agent, whatever the hell he is, Paul Heyman, they showed up completely unannounced at WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. I do not know why they found this so strange. They're both WWE employees, so... But anyways, apparently they showed up and started wrecking the place. We get to come back to that later. After they brought that up and showed a little bit of, like, security camera footage, a couple of pictures that people took on their cell phones, people who were in the building... After that, we got a recap of Ryback and Cena from last week. Whoop-de-doo. The show actually starts, and out comes Cena to cut another boring fucking promo. Honestly, at this point, Raw always starts with a boring Cena promo. If it doesn't, then we might actually be in for a good night. But that's what we get again. He's talking and talking and talking and not really saying anything because the guy has as much charisma as a politician. He might as well be one, honestly. Vicky Guerrero comes out without Brad Maddox for some reason. I don't know how that happened. But Vicky comes out, interrupting Cena, and... she introduces Ryback. Of course. What else is she gonna do? So she introduces Ryback, and the two of them both get into the ring with Cena, and she says that she's going to give Cena the opportunity to choose the stipulation for the match between him and Ryback at Extreme Rules. Since it's Extreme Rules, every match has to be extreme in some way. We already have the cage match with Lesnar and Triple H, and we're having a ladder match for the WWE title. We're having a ladder match for the World Heavyweight title, I'm sorry. But anyways, she says she's going to give... she's going to give Cena the chance to pick the stipulation. And he says that instead of picking it, he doesn't want to pick it. So... yeah. Really dumb if you ask me. But Cena doesn't want to pick it, so he lets Ryback pick it. And... once Cena says that, Ryback goes into this long spiel about Cena, your Achilles heel really is your Achilles heel, and not picking your own stipulation is going to be your downfall because you're not going to be standing after I'm done with you. And him saying that, I can already tell what he's about to say, but he goes on to say that at Extreme Rules, the match will of course be a last man standing match. And historically, Cena has won, I think, every last man standing match he's ever been in. Noteworthy ones being when he duct taped Batista's legs to the ring post in order to keep him down. I wonder if we're going to see a repeat of that. Hell, we saw a repeat of that. Didn't Cena use that same trick on... who was it? Mark Henry? I can't remember. Big Show, I think. Either way, doesn't matter. Historically, I'm pretty sure Cena has won every last man standing match he's ever been in. So, Ryback picking this match type, he might as well have picked an I Quit match, because Cena's never lost one of those either. Anyways, they finally get done with that, and they get the hell out of the ring, and we finally get on to our first match. Randy Orton comes out. And essentially what we get here is a rematch from Friday Night on SmackDown, when Randy went against Damien Sandow. So yes, out comes Sandow, and while he's on his way to the ring, he... Apparently this is a sequel of sorts. JBL and Michael Cole have this little, apparently, web show that they do. And on the latest episode, Sandow did his own rendition of... I don't know the actual name of the song, but instead of singing about the woman who the song was actually about, he changed the lyrics to be about Rosa Mendez. And he's saying that she sucks, basically. That's essentially the punchline. But yeah, so he's singing again, and he changes the lyrics to Randy's own theme music, just insulting Randy in every way he can. So he does that on the way to the ring. Whatever. We get back to... They finally start the match, and that's all well and good. They get through the match, and Randy wins, of course, just like on SmackDown. It's a complete repeat, basically. So, it was actually a good match. It went for a decent amount of time. I suppose they figured they had to let the match go for a while to offset the long, boring promo. But anyways, after the match, Randy is heading up the ramp to go through the curtain and go backstage, of course. Before he can go through the curtain, Big Show jumps out. The camera misses it because apparently the cameramen are either shitheads or the people in the production truck didn't know how to switch the damn camera angle, because we're stuck in a camera angle staring at the frickin' commentators watching Michael Cole trying to act surprised. As he says, "Oh no, look out, the Big Show!" Big Show comes out of nowhere and decks Randy. Knockout punch knocks him out cold. And then Big Show just bails. So, blah blah blah. They cut backstage after this, and they show Fandango dancing backstage, not with Summer Rae this time. She's gone, apparently. Johnny seems to be dancing with his old dancer chick, who's actually a real dancer, I would think, and she's actually good at it, so I'm guessing that's what they decided on. Let's have an actual dancer, you know. But whatever. They're dancing backstage, blah blah blah. They cut to commercial. They come back, Jericho's coming out. And he's in street clothes, aside from his little light bright jacket that he's been wearing. He comes out to talk. And he basically says, "Fandango, you're dancing and all this stuff, so I'm going to judge you, but I can't do it alone. I need some more judges to help me." He actually has a little table set up with 3 chairs. A little judge's table. So he introduces who else but the other morons around here that be dancing lately. Tons of Funk. So out come Brodus and Tensai. They come out and they sit their fucking fat asses down at the judge's table with Jericho. And then out comes Johnny with his brunette dancer chick. He comes out, and then R-Truth comes out. Somebody else who knows a little something about dancing. But anyways, the match goes on for a bit. It was fairly short. What ends up happening is Johnny gets dumped out of the ring, and Yeah, so like every move he's making, Johnny is making, that is, Jericho and the Funktards are holding up number cards, judging him. And of course, they're judging him very low because, that's the whole point of this. It's to piss him off. But anyways, so Johnny gets dumped out of the ring. And in the ring, Truth says, "Yo, judges, watch this." And he does a little spin move, and then he jumps up and does the splits. He does this all the time. I mean, it's just his little rapping gimmick. It's really not all that great. But he does that. And then the judges all of a sudden all hold up 10s. And Johnny freaks out. He's like, "What the fuck? That's bullshit. I'm better than that." So he walks out on the match. He gets counted out. R-Truth wins by countout. It's lame. They cut backstage. Daniel Bryan. He starts talking about his match last week on SmackDown with Ryback, which apparently they did do a recap of that, or a replay, and Ryback did win. So I was correct in assuming that. But anyways, Bryan starts talking about it, and then Ryback walks up. I think Bryan was asking him for a rematch or something, but he's not quite 100% or whatever, so Ryback comes up and he says, "You know what? Even if you were 100%, I'd still destroy you." And he says, "You're not half the man I am." And then Kane comes out of nowhere and grabs Ryback by the shoulder and spins him around. And he says, "How about me, Ryback? Do you think I'm only half the man you are?" Ryback cuts him down, saying, "You're not half the monster you used to be. Blah, blah, blah." Up next, they had been hyping this for a bit. We have Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler. During the beginning part of the match, I'm hearing the crowd chanting, "Let's go Ziggler." Nice. They're getting close to the ending of the match, and all of a sudden, out comes Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter. They come out, and they walk around the ring, and they have to avoid Big E because, of course, he's out there. But they go around Big E, and they work their way over to the commentary table, and they get on commentary. So now we've got 5 people on the commentary. It's really getting crowded. You've got JBL Cole and Lawler already. And then Coulter and Swagger join them. Anyways, so the match continues. Let's see. A couple of interesting botches to note here. Del Rio goes for his enziguri in the corner, and Ziggler ducks it, and he kind of dives out of the way. But the way Del Rio fell as he was missing it, he still landed on the back of Ziggler's head anyways. So, yeah, kind of looked like that might have knocked Ziggler for a loop there for a minute. But anyways, Del Rio botched again. Oh yeah, Ziggler was on the top rope, getting ready to jump down, and Del Rio tried to jump up the ropes in the corner to try and grab him or whatever, but he just kind of bopped him, but he fell back down. Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like Del Rio botched twice during this match. The match ends in a DQ when Del Rio gets Ziggler in the cross-arm breaker again. But instead of Ziggler tapping out again and looking like a pussy again, AJ jumps on the apron to distract the referee. Big E crawls into the ring, grabs Del Rio by the freaking head and drags him out of the ring, throws him into Swagger, who obviously is over on the commentary desk. And somehow the referee sees this, DQs Ziggler. I'm going to guess he DQ'd Ziggler. The bell rang. I didn't hear any announcement from the ring announcer to say who won or whatever. But apparently the ref saw it and he called the match, so Ziggler must have gotten DQ'd, whatever. After that, Swagger gets up after getting Del Rio thrown into him, and he starts cleaning house. Swagger does. He pulls out a ladder, and he cracks Ziggler in the face with it. Looked like knocked him out cold. Like, legit. And then he throws it face first into Del Rio. Looks like about knocked him out cold, too. And he had already thrown Ricardo Rodriguez into the barricade, and I think he even flattened Big E. So, Swagger looking strong all of a sudden. After that, during a commercial break, before the commercial break, we get another recap of Cena and Ryback from earlier tonight. Again, they're trying to hype up this crap. But during the commercial break, we see that WWE has apparently signed a deal with Yahoo to provide special content, and they're doing some half-hour Raw pre-show, because Raw needs a pre-show. Don't get that, but whatever. After the commercial break, we come back, and Caitlyn is backstage with the Funkadactyls. I don't know why. And Natalya pops in during this segment, but Caitlyn's standing there talking to the Funkadactyls because apparently they're teaming up together later on in a 6-diva tag match. Caitlyn's phone goes off, and she's got this goofy ringtone. I think it was just like a boing, boing, boing noise. It was really dumb. But she gets this text from her secret admirer. I don't remember exactly what he said, or he or she or whoever the hell it was. But that's when Natalya comes in and she starts saying, we should let the great Khali do some investigating. He can go undercover. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, a 7-foot Indian guy with a Jay Leno chin is going to go undercover. And she actually brings up that he was a policeman in India. And I'm pretty sure that's true, actually. So imagine, if you will, the great Khali in a policeman's uniform in India. Anyways, so that just sort of petered off. Oh yes, Caitlyn, Natalya, the great Khali, and the Funkadactyls all just kind of walk off. And then around the corner of this set they're standing in front of, the Bellas come by. And they have their scheming face on. They're like, ooh, scheming face. They don't say anything, but that's where the segment just sort of cuts out. Next thing, we cut back to the ring, and out comes the Shield for a match. And I think it cut to a commercial break. We don't get to see who it was that they were going against, or at least not their entrance. We come back, and it turns out their opponents, who all get jobber entranced, the Usos, and Kofi Kingston. So, guess who wins? To be fair, the match was actually fairly decent. Even though the Usos and Kofi suck, they got dragged to a decent match by the Shield guys. The Shield won, of course, duh. Nothing really specific to note from this match, other than after the match, the referee is holding up the arm of one of the Shield guys. You know, these guys won. And in his other hand, the referee is holding the United States title belt. I guess he's going to give it to Kofi since Kofi is the champ. But all three guys in the Shield are staring at this belt. Like, oh yeah, we coming for all your titles. You damn right. Next up, Antonio Cesaro comes out. And already in the ring, his jobber opponent, Zack Ryder. Yeah. Obviously, this was a squash match, which surprised the hell out of me because they've been kind of burying Cesaro as of late. So I don't know if they decided to change their mind on him all of a sudden and they're going to push him some more. I don't know. But before the match, I think it was before the match, they showed a clip of Main Event from this past week where Kofi was backstage at Main Event and Cesaro decks him from behind and then grabs a hold of a couple of his stupid dreads and yanks him out of his skull. So yeah, Cesaro ripped a couple of Kofi's dreads out on Main Event. Obviously, Cesaro beats the hell out of Ryder, beats him fairly quickly. This was a squash match. Ryder hardly had any offense, and he's never going to have any offense. The guy sucks. Cesaro beats him, and then he asks for a mic. And he opens by saying, "I don't ask for the mic often, so when I do, take notes." And I'm thinking, well, I'm already taking notes, so... But anyways, he starts talking, and I'm not sure if this was a legit promo or if he was actually shooting on somebody. But, he said a couple of things. He said he puts the W in WWE. And I'm guessing he's referring to wrestling? I don't know. But he says that. I can't remember what else he said. Oh yeah, he said that there's not a person in the locker room that he can't beat. And, I don't know. Nothing really happens with this. Nobody comes out to interrupt him or anything. He just, leaves after he gets done talking. So, I don't know what the hell. After that, Paul Heyman shows up on the Titantron, and he's getting ready to do a video promo. And he's talking via satellite, so he's pulling a rock. But anyways, he starts talking about him and Brock showing up earlier at the WWE headquarters. And they cut to this video, which is the actual video that Heyman recorded because Heyman had his phone with him, of course, when they were going through the headquarters building. And he's taking video of this the whole time. They go into the lobby of the building. They just kind of breeze on past the receptionist. And they go up to Triple H's office on the 4th floor. Oh yeah, there was this nifty little scene where they're on the elevator with this guy, and Brock is basically just hovering over him, breathing down his neck. And you can tell this guy just wants to piss himself. He jumps out of the elevator as soon as the doors open, and Heyman kind of looks out and he goes, "Was it something we said?" Heyman, by the way, is a fantastic fucking heel. And a fantastic promo guy as well. But anyways, they work their way over to Triple H's office, and they actually look at the name tag on the wall by the door, and it says Paul Levesque. So they're not making any bones about revealing his real name. They go inside, and they see, I'm guessing it's Triple H's secretary, and Heyman looks at her and he says, "You're not Stephanie. You're much prettier than she is." And again, I'm just laughing my ass off, because he's actually right. The girl actually was much prettier. And they work their way. This other dude tries to stop Brock, and Brock tells him to shut the hell up. And he damn near throws the guy out the window. He doesn't, but he grabs the guy by the collar and he pushes him up against his desk, and he should shut the hell up. And then they just blow into Triple H's office. Triple H ain't there, of course, because this was apparently earlier today. And Triple H, of course, is at the show because, you know, he ain't gonna miss the show, being the chief operating officer and whatnot. So they go into Triple H's office. Blah, blah, they do some stuff, and then all of a sudden, Brock just starts wrecking the place. And he happens to see Triple H has his old trusty sledgehammer mounted on the frickin' wall. So Brock snags it off the wall, and he smashes Triple H's desk, and also there was, I'm guessing, a replica of the World Heavyweight Championship belt just laying on Triple H's desk. Brock takes the sledgehammer and just beats the hell out of this belt. He smashes the center plate in, just beats the hell out of this belt. And then he breaks the desk, he smashes it, he breaks the head off of the hammer in the desk. Smashes his computer, smashes his laptop, throws a bunch of crap up against the wall. There's a big WWE logo on the wall. He throws stuff up against it and breaks the logo. And they basically just wreck the place and then they leave and that's it. And then Heyman talks a little bit more. And while Heyman is talking some more, Triple H's music hits. And out comes Triple H in his tough guy outfit. He's got his jean pants on. He's got his leather jacket on. I gotta tell you, Trip, you look like a jackass now in that outfit with your shaved head. You look worse than The Undertaker does with his shaved head. And his stupid little mohawk that he has. Okay? You're not fooling anybody. Anyways. Triple H comes out, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember exactly what was said. He said he doesn't really care about that office because that's really his second office. His first office, his real office, is in the ring. He says that's his office, that's his home, that's where he became a man. I'm like, sure that is where you became a man, because it sure as hell wasn't with your wife. Anyways. Blah, blah, blah. We move on. The next thing up is AJ and the Bellas versus Caitlyn and the Funkadactyls. This match was short, and it was terrible. AJ starts the match with Cameron, and AJ beats the fuck out of this little bitch. Beats her like a red-headed stepchild. She's beating the hell out of her. Cameron's hardly putting up any fight whatsoever. But then all of a sudden, she finally does put up some fight, and she manages to get away from AJ long enough to tag in Caitlyn. AJ starts begging off, and then she slaps Caitlyn. And Caitlyn just goes apeshit on her. And AJ manages to crawl over to the corner to try and tag in one of the Bellas. They both bail on her. Because, of course, them being the little whores that they are, they don't want no piece of Caitlyn either. So they both bail. AJ turns around and gets speared by Caitlyn. And that's match. This match was short, and it was fucking terrible. I'm really tired of these crappy Divas matches. If you can't have good girls in matches, don't bother with it. Just don't bother. If all you're going to have them for is eye candy, just have them stand around to look pretty. Have them be somebody's valet. God knows you don't seem to be shy about that. What are you doing with the chick that's always following around Fandango? If it ain't Summer Rae, it's the brunette chick who can actually dance. Seriously, either find some good female wrestlers or just stop bothering. Anyways, after that, Mark Henry comes out to cut a promo. And this is another one of those where it seemed kind of like a shoot, because he brings up Sheamus. He says, you know what, in a couple of minutes, Sheamus is going to come out here, he's going to slap his chest, he's going to do his little warrior pose, and he's going to act tough. But with me, I don't have to act. Blah, blah, blah. He goes on for a while. Sheamus comes out. And Sheamus starts talking. They start going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, Henry goes, or Sheamus goes, I don't remember which one, but they say, well, why wait until Extreme Rules? Let's fight right now. And the other one goes, okay, fine. They both take their shirts off because they're both wearing shirts. They're getting ready to go. And then all of a sudden, Wade Barrett's music hits. And he comes out. And then the commentators go, well, we did have scheduled a match between Sheamus and Wade Barrett. And I'm like, oh. Okay. So Mark decides to get the hell out of the ring. Sheamus and Barrett have their match, which, of course, Sheamus wins. Henry's on commentary the whole match. He tells Cole to shut the hell up so many times in this match. And then finally, after Cole won't shut the hell up, he won't take a friggin' hint. Even JBL's telling him to shut the hell up. After that, Mark decides to get off commentary and get ready for what happens during the match. Sheamus takes Barrett out of the ring and goes like he's going to throw Barrett into Henry. He doesn't really, but Henry flinches, falls out of his freaking chair at the commentary table. So this makes Henry just look like a huge bitch. But Henry falls out of his chair, and then I don't know what the hell happened to Barrett, but Sheamus turns around and just brogue kicks the hell out of Henry. Henry's laid out. Sheamus rolls Barrett back in the ring and finishes him off. He beats Barrett, of course. And then after the match, Henry jumps Sheamus from behind. And he's got a belt in his hand. Apparently, while Sheamus was in the ring beating the hell out of Barrett, they had the EMTs or the trainers or whoever come over to look at Henry, who'd been knocked stupid by the brogue kick. Henry apparently swiped a belt off of one of the trainers, and he clocks Sheamus, and then he just starts whipping the piss out of Sheamus with his belt. And he's just whipping the piss out of him with this belt. And Sheamus is a pale motherfucker. This thing is going to leave welts. And it does. And they show him later. But he whips the piss out of Sheamus with it and then picks him up and gives him the world's strongest slam on the floor outside the ring. And then after that, Henry leaves, of course. Barrett's already gone. Henry leaves and they get a good look at Sheamus's back. And he's got welts. Big red welts. Oh yes, they start to cut to a commercial, and during the commercial they announce that next week on Raw, and I don't know why they're using this to hype up Raw, but they announce that next week Fandango and Jericho will be in a dance-off, or some kind of dancing contest. And I'm just like, that was the sound of my head hitting the desk. That's what I got. I'm like, seriously, we had Fandango in a dancing competition last week, and they screwed him over because it was obviously a tie. But whatever. So anyways, we come back from commercial. Kane is going against Ryback. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but when Bryan did his promo and Ryback interrupted him and then Kane interrupted Ryback, they announced shortly after that Vicky Guerrero had confirmed that they were going to have Kane versus Ryback. So anyways, Kane comes out, Ryback comes out, they have a boring match. Ryback actually wins. It was a decent finish at least. Kane was on the top rope. I believe he was going for his big clothesline. But Ryback catches him in the corner and cinches him up for the shell shock. Gets him out of the corner, marches to the middle of the ring, turns him around, slams him down, and gets the 3 count. The only other thing to note from this match, because it was a pretty boring match, the only other thing to notice is when Ryback came out, the announcer said he was from Las Vegas, not Sin City like he had been saying before. Ryback has been from Sin City up until now, but apparently the announcer says Las Vegas. I don't know if that was a mess up, or they're just not going to go with Sin City anymore. I don't know. But whatever. After the match, the Shield comes out, and Ryback bails because he don't want none of that. The Shield looks like, oh yeah, we're going to beat the hell out of Kane. Daniel Bryan comes out. And they're still like, well, okay, it's still 2-on-3, we can still take him, so they're still looking like they're going to get into the ring. Cena bolts down on his hurt ankle, completely no-selling it. Cena dives in the ring. And the Shield guys are like, Cena's still hurt, fuck it, we'll take him. They jump in the ring and they start trying to fight. Ryback slides back into the ring with a chair, chases off two of the guys in the Shield. Cena has one of them up on his shoulders, getting ready to give him the attitude adjustment. Then all of a sudden, Ryback just nails Cena in the guts with the chair. And that's pretty much where the show ends, with Ryback standing over a hurt Cena. And Kane and Bryan decided to piss off. The Shield guys run away. Yeah, but that's how Raw ends, with Ryback standing over Cena hurt. Yada, yada, yada. Again, the show was not all that great. There was one or two decent matches. The one between Orton and Sandow was actually fairly good. But then again, Orton and Sandow are both pretty good in the ring, so of course they're going to put on a good match. It wasn't even 10 minutes into the show, and this was during the Cena promo. I had to run for the booze. I couldn't take that shit no more. This crap is so bad it drives me to drink, okay? Really bad. But anyways, that was Raw. I believe it was the last episode of the rant that I said something about this next episode of NXT where Jericho was supposed to be on. I haven't seen the full show, but I do know that there was a, I believe, triple threat tag team match between one half of the current tag team champions, Adrian Neville, and his partner, Bo Dallas, who's not actually the other holder of the tag team titles. But those two took on the two ugly hosses from the Wyatt family. And, oh crap, who the hell was their other opponents? I can't remember. But it was like a triple threat tag team match, and they did it elimination style. And I believe the Wyatt family guys ended up winning. I'm not exactly sure. There was another match. Finally, Paige and Summer Rae had them a match on NXT. And before the match, they hype up the history between these two. Summer was ducking Paige, attacked her from behind, yada yada. They finally have their match, and Paige just pretty much decimates Summer. Apparently, Summer's finisher is just this back spin kick. She went for it during this match, and Paige caught her and went right into her own finisher, which I believe she calls the Rampage. She nails it, gets the win. Of course, Paige being the superior, vastly superior wrestler, of course she's going to win. And I believe the only other match on the show was Chris Jericho, of course, taking on Bray Wyatt. I hate Bray Wyatt. It's a crappy character. Husky Harris. He's a shit wrestler. He's fat. He's not very charismatic. He's not a very good wrestler. Him and Bo Dallas, they're brothers. They're IRS's sons. And IRS never had any fucking charisma either. That's why they teamed him up with DiBiase for Money Inc. Because DiBiase could actually talk. I'll give IRS enough credit, he was a decent enough wrestler. But he was not very good at promos. Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, neither one of them has any fucking charisma. And Dallas, hell, neither one of them is a very good wrestler either. So they keep pushing these two tards in NXT at least. Doesn't matter. I don't see either one of them really coming up to the main roster, at least full time. I know Bo Dallas already was briefly. but they seem to have euthanized that. I'm going to guess that Jericho beat Wyatt. I'm pretty sure he did. But, yeah. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know. But yeah, that was Raw and somewhat NXT. That will do it for this episode of the Wrestling Rant. Hope you enjoyed it. Once again, as always, we will see you next time.